Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today we're gonna do toys. I'm going to take you around the house, show you all the toys that my kids actually play with. I do still plan on doing a like what my kids asked for Christmas video, but I want to show you like just around the house on a regular day what the kids are actually playing with, things that have not been decluttered because I have done a bunch of decluttering over the last couple of months. This is the stuff that is still here, so there's probably a reason why it's still here. So I'm just gonna get straight into it, and I'll have links to things that I show you down below. My house is trashed, my house is a mess, and nothing is cleaned up, nothing is perfectly ordered, but this is just real life, and I hope that it helps you in some way if you are Christmas shopping. Over here, we have Sean, and we also have our playroom, which is kind of a hot mess, but don't be scared. I'm gonna show you and point out things that I think might be helpful to you. Yes, I could have filmed this video on a day where everything was in its perfect spot, but then it might take a long time before I can actually film that video. But the first thing that I want to point out is over here, we have Legos, you guys. We have Legos of all kinds. I bought this little organizer to hopefully organize Legos. So the kids, what they do is they have a bunch of like random Legos, and then up here, sometimes they will organize them. Only like right now, it's really not organized. So that's kind of like a fail. But anyway, in theory, this is the Lego organizer for like loose part Legos. And then over here, this is where they keep all of their Lego sets. We have each of the sets with the instructions. These are like the full sets. We went through them the other day to see like what do we still have, like the Lego sets that have all the parts. If they were intact, then we put them in these little cases. If they were not intact, then they went into the random Legos. I suppose I should share the ages of my kids. So I have an almost 8-year-old girl. I have an almost 6-year-old boy. So those are the two that play with Legos all day long. And then I have Sean, who is 2, and I have Harper, who's 6 months. So we've got just kids of all ages, different interests, different toys that they're playing with. But Jackson and Riley, the 2 oldest, Legos all day. So that is something that you cannot go wrong with. Get them on sale. You don't have to spend a fortune for Legos, but at least my kids, they love to play with them. They have these base plates out, and then they go making little scenes. Half the time I find them all over the place like this. So these are very much used. Over here I have our train bin, and I'm trying to open it up so you guys can see what it looks like. We have collected just a bunch of train stuff over the years. And Sean, the 2-year-old, is now at the point where he will play with the train set. So I have thrown together just like all of the train stuff in this one bin. I need to get a nicer bin because this one honestly is not looking the greatest. But he will play with them. A lot of them are like the Brios train sets, but they don't have to be anything fancy. It's just something that you can connect the tracks and then they make a little scene. Over here, this is again, just a disaster. But we do have Calico Critters. Calico Critters is one of like our sets of toys that we are also gonna continue because Riley's really into the Calico Critters and also Sean. So we have a mixture of like Calico Critters and the Little Woodsies, which is like the Target brand. This is a little house that we got from Walmart last year, and it served its purpose. It was very cheap. I got it on sale. But this year, Riley has asked for like an upgrade to it. So on her list is the Calico Critter one. Maybe she gets that, maybe she doesn't. But if she does, even though it's kind of like a little bit pricier, what's nice is that he will play with it almost like a little dollhouse, whether it's with his figurines or with the little Calico Critters. So some kind of little dollhouse is always a good idea. Want me to close it? Or you want to play with it on the floor? Here, why don't we play with it over here on the couch? Guys, if I don't film this video now, you're not getting the video. So it's going to be a little bit Hot Mess Express, and he's going to want to play with every single toy. But otherwise, you don't get the video, so I'm sorry. This is super random. This is a bin of Joe's G.I. Joes. So my husband has like old G.I. Joes, and they're a little bit naked. But Jackson will play with them if Riley is playing with her Barbies. So whatever. This was just like a nostalgic old vintage toy that we keep. And Sean also will sometimes play with them. But cars, really, you guys, this is what is around my house all day long. Matchbox cars, Hot Wheels cars for the 6-year-old boy. He asked for cars for every holiday, for everything. And I'm like, dude, don't you have enough freaking cars? But he says no. He says he could use all of the cars. He wants every single car that exists. So they're here right now because he was playing with them. But we also keep them in a bin here. These are some like bigger cars, but he also has like the little monster cars, the monster trucks. He also has the little Hot Wheels. So this is our giant car bin. You like that one?
Yes.
And now Sean obviously is at the point where he will play with them too. We also have this collection here of larger cars. So Again, he will never turn down any kind of car. These are the Hess trucks, which my husband loves to get for Jackson, and there may or may not be one on the holiday wish list. They come out with like a new one every year. They're a little bit more special. And yeah, we have a nice little collection. One of our categories of toys that all the kids like to play with are the dinos. So we just have like a random assortment here of dinosaurs. So like figurines like this are good. We have a dino set. Of all the Melissa and Doug like play sets that we've had over the years, the one that I have not been able to get rid of or donate is this ice cream set, because the kids like really love to play with it, and Sean especially will still play with it. We used to have the pizza set. We used to have like a bunch of other sets. We have donated them just because we don't need that many. And we don't have like the space for that many, but this ice cream one is great. Harper's gonna join our video here and there. She wasn't super happy on the pack and play. But another category of toys that Sean really likes, so again, the 2-year-old, is all the Bluey figurines. So we have some, not a ton. And again, I wanna fix how we organize these. I thought this was just gonna, but no, this is like completely broken. So that's my life. Anyway, point is, I will get a better container to store these in. But all the little Bluey figurines, Sean really likes Bluey, so it makes sense that he would like the little figurines. So like I said, he can use these little figurines in the Calico critter house. Could I buy like the Bluey house? Could I order one of those for him? Sure, but I don't think that there's a need. Like if you have a doll house of any kind, whether it's a Calico house or like a wooden doll house, that's all you need for these little like figurines specific to like characters that they like, because otherwise you end up with like a Peppa Pig house and a Gabby's doll house and a Bluey house, and it's just like too many big houses that you don't really need. Okay, so have one, invest in like a nice one, and then you can buy little figurines and they can use them, and that's kind of what's worked for us here in our home. So yeah, we're gonna have like more Bluey figurines. This is like one of the Bluey trucks that we got one time. It's cute because obviously he likes cars, so whatever. This is like a little Bluey ice cream set, but we don't need to have all the vehicles. What I prefer are the actual little people that then he can play with. I don't think I need to tell you that we have like 1,500,000 books in this house, so books are always a good gift. The other thing that if you don't have, and you have like a boy who's into cars, if you don't have like one of these little racetrack things, this is so good. We got this, I forget when, maybe last Christmas. But it's like a racetrack that, you know, is like all rolled up. You unroll it and then they can make the tracks go, you know, loop-de-loop. There's like a suction cup thingy that attaches to the doors or wherever, and then they can make like the cars go down. This is something that gets played with often. I'm actually surprised that it's not out at the moment. I was also telling you guys that for Sean, for the little one, he recently has gotten into all of the little people stuff. So I believe that he got this little people bus either for his birthday or for even Christmas last year. Riley's telling me that it might have been for Christmas. I honestly don't remember. But point is, when I gave this to him, or when he received this, there was a while there where he really wasn't playing with it, or like just a lot of the little people stuff he wasn't really into. But recently, now that he's like 2 and maybe like 4 months, or he's approaching that, now he's really getting into like the little actual people and wanting to put them in the cars and making little like pretend play situations. So if you're looking for gifts in that age range, like 2, 2.5, highly recommend those. He only has a few because we just don't have space for all of the little people stuff. But he has a dump truck, which is cute, and it makes noise, but I'm not gonna press it. Moving to the Lincoln Logs so that you can see. But this is one, like I think the only big little people set that he has right now. It's the little people car wash, which again, I think he got either for Christmas or his birthday. And I was getting ready to be like, this is too big, I'm gonna donate it. But I think I'm gonna hold on to it because now I'm seeing him actually play with it. The other day I was in here with him and he was like asking me to pull it down for him. But this one is cute. It comes with the car and like one little person. This is the wrong person. But this one's cute. You put the car like on the elevator goes up and down, and then it's like a little car wash. And then there's like a ramp at the end of the car wash, and he loves to see the car go down. So maybe consider just a couple of those sets. You can really go crazy with the little people stuff, and if you have the space to store it, great, by all means. But I just find that a lot of the sets are very big and bulky, and I don't have space to keep them all. So this is not the kind of thing that I will continue to buy for him, like a bunch of them, but I will keep around like 1 or 2. And if I see that he continues to really like them, then I can go like kind of swapping them out. But it does make for a really good like big gift. If you're looking for like a big gift, this is like very impressive because it's big and they get all excited. So other categories, obviously, I feel like I shouldn't even have to mention this because they're like on every single gift guide. But any kind of magnet tiles, my kids love. They play with them so much all day long. They make little houses. Here, I was taking this one out because I'm like, what is this thing in here? They made like a little pull cart situation thing. These are great. I think you can buy them separately, but they're like little cars for the magnet tile. So if you don't have one of these, look to maybe get one of these sets so that they can make cars. The other thing that are great for the magnet tiles, if you already have magnet tiles, are getting the road toppers. If you've never seen them, like you can just put them straight on top of any magnet tile, right? And then you can go making a road and then play with the cars. So there's lots of like extension pack kind of things like this that you can get if you're like, okay, we already have too many magnet tiles, but your kids play with them. Maybe ask for stuff like this so that they can just, you know, continue to build on what they already have. Things I talk to you guys about on Instagram all the time. I'm not gonna take them out because they're a pain to like put back in, but they're the little bouncy hopper things. They're like 10 bucks and they're such a great toy. My kids have used them so much, and whatever, they hop around all day. They use them as chairs. They play with them inside, outside. Those are great. Lincoln logs also are a big hit over here. You know, the kids like to build, and every once in a while they want to make specifically like a log cabin. So this might be a category that you look into, but I've had these forever and I haven't donated them yet because I feel like they're such a good toy. Riley still has a bunch of doll stuff. So if you have a girl who's into dolls, like they could like dolls for a very long time. Again, Riley's almost 8 years old and she still asked for Christmas this year. She asked for a Baby Alive doll and she asked for like the diapers and the food for the Baby Alive doll. So don't discredit the dolls if your kid is still into them. The thing is that at this point, like we have dolls. We already did the let's get you some clothing for the dolls. And then I think 1 year for Christmas, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but we even got her like a little wardrobe for the dolls, which was very cute. If you don't have one of those, maybe that's a nice gift idea. We also have these mega blocks that we have never gotten rid of because these are the blocks that Sean plays with the most often. Sean, right now in the middle of this video, wants to play with his basketball hoop. This he will play with. It's just, honestly, like it's really more so my fault he doesn't play with it as often because I have it here in the corner of the playroom, and if I brought it out more, I feel like he would play with it more often. It's just, again, I don't have a lot of space. With the 4 kids, everybody's always playing in here. Could I put it outside? Maybe, but then I just feel that here in the Miami heat, like it's just going to get ruined really fast. So I don't know, I have to play around with where I put one of these, but if you have like a 2-year-old boy, again, this is a great gift. Oh, this does adjust, by the way. So that's what he's asking for. Is that good? FYI, that's how tall it can go compared to him. Go! You want me to put it a little lower? Yeah. Here, let's put it a little bit lower while Sean figures out what he wants to do with his life. We also have these magnet blocks, you guys. These were new to us, I think, last year. And you see them, like if you go on Amazon, they have a bunch of different sets that look like, they look like, what's it called, Minecraft little blocks, because my kids are into Minecraft. One of these set is not. Like this set was like just pastel blocks. I showed you, Sean. Sean, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? Did you get what you needed? I don't even know why I'm trying to film this video, you guys. This is just insane, but anyway, these were new to us and they were a big hit. So I had gotten a couple sets and I think that the kids are asking for more because between the 2 of them with this amount of blocks, like they run out of blocks to be able to make all their scenes. So, okay, so we're gonna make this category bigger and I think that all the kids will get a lot of use out of them. Then in this basket, you guys, we have a bunch of figurines. So animal figurines, just like random figurines, McDonald's figurines, but mostly like farm animals, zoo animals, ocean animals. I need to get a better container to store them also. I just put them in this random basket I found. But that is one of Sean's favorite things to play with right now. He will take them out, name them all. So this is just like a staple in our house and has been for years. So if you don't have a bunch of like animal figurines, I highly recommend them. In our old house, we used to have a lot more storage. We had a whole basement. We had a bunch of toy storage. We would regularly do like toy rotations. So you would see certain things out and then there was always like another little area where we would store more toys. Here in this house, we have a few, and again, my closet is not organized at the moment. I need to go through everything and just better organize it. But there are a handful of toys in here in the closet that I would say the kids do play with, but we hold on to them, and sometimes we'll like bring some of these things out, put other things away. But it's not like a ton of stuff compared to what we used to have. But worth noting, I guess, like look, more cars and action figures. This right here is like a construction tool set, which Sean likes to play with. We have a vet set, and we also have a doctor set. This one right here is a doctor set. Those two are played with often. This is like a barbershop set, and honestly, the kids don't really play with that, so that may be donated. But what we do have a lot of is Play-Doh stuff. So this whole bin here is like Play-Doh, and then these are like Play-Doh accessories that this little Ziploc actually belongs over here. But we keep Play-Doh stuff here. We do have that light bright table that the kids will take out every once in a while. That is like a fun toy sometimes that they'll like bring out, but it's big. It's like one of those light tables. Not a light bright table, it's a light table. What else? We have a dentist set. The dentist set is cute. And then we also had a camping set for a while. It says Dinos, but it's really a camping set, which the kids would play with. But I would honestly say that there's not like a ton of stuff in here that is like, wow, they haven't seen it in a while and they're gonna be so excited to bring it out from the rotation. Like, this is kind of where I shove stuff that like I just can't have enough stuff out here in the playroom. One category though that we are going to expand upon this year are the Duplo Legos. So these Lego sets are much more like appropriate for a 2-year-old, for like the smaller kids. So we had one set, like a Mickey train that we had had for years, but I do think that Sean will like the Duplos, and then we can keep the Duplos also for Harper. So if I didn't have Harper, maybe I would have just said, hey Sean, like I'm not going to invest in like the Duplos, play with the big Legos, play with what we have already. But I think that Harper and him will both like to play with the Duplos. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, out here in the family room, we have a couple things. We have Sean's little Target shopping cart. That is always played with. The kitchen itself is still always played with. And in this basket here, we have a lot of like the food toys. I'm just not gonna go through every single one. And then we do have a cash register, which the kids like to play with, and Sean likes to open and close the door. And then something else that we've had for a really long time that Sean also is now playing with is the Melissa and Doug farm. So again, he takes often his little figurines, the animal figurines, and he'll play with them inside of the barn. So that is a definite, like I've had it for years and it's great. The counter is also full of cars that Jackson was playing with, and Play-Doh and all sorts of stuff. But something that was new to us this past year that we have kept around and that Sean seems to like are the jelly blocks. They're blocks, but they're like sensory and they have like little things inside of them. So all of my kids actually play with them, but Sean is definitely at that age where these are perfect for. And in our homeschool cabinets, in these two cabinets, we have a ton of just art supplies. I'm not gonna go through them right now because it's just too much stuff, but I do have a video sharing like some of the stuff that's in here, so I'll try to link that down below if you're curious. But think art supplies, anything from stickers, coloring books, construction paper, markers, like arts and crafts, like sequins, pipe cleaners, like all the typical stuff you can find in here, and the kids spend hours doing that kind of stuff. Okay, now upstairs here in the kids' rooms, again, forgive the mess, but this is real life, like what they are actually using. There are a couple things to point out here. So in Riley's room, in the kids' room, the big kids share room, Riley still has her Barbie dream house, which she loves to play with still. And then she has like a whole thing of all her Barbies, so Barbie clothes, the actual dolls. She doesn't want to get rid of this just yet, so it is staying here. But again, you can't go wrong with the Barbie dream house if they actually will play with it if they're into that. And then once again, so you can see just how often they're using the Legos. Like they're everywhere. Every surface in my house, there are Legos of some kind. They also have a bunch more books here, so I'm not going to touch them. They need to be obviously reorganized. But in the beds, the one thing that we can't get rid of ever are the Tonys. We have a collection of Tonys with the Toniebox. These are a bunch of the Tonys, so they're like the little characters, and then you put them up on top, and then they play whatever story or songs. This is the Nutcracker one, but anything from Pout Fish. They also have cool like National Geographic ones. This one was an astronaut space one. But we started off with the Tonys, and I kept the Tonys around because now Sean is really into the Tonys. He's very much about like the little characters, because really they can kind of be used like figurines too, which I think is pretty cool. So whatever, I'm not getting rid of the Tonys. I'm actually expanding on our collection because I think that Tony's kind of, in my opinion, they skew towards like the younger kids. And so since I have kids of all ages, I'm not getting rid of these. This will be mostly for Sean, but my big kids, like I said, will still read through some of the stories. Like this one is Wizard of Oz. So Tony's, we have a bunch of them. But we also have the Yoto player. And the Yoto player gets used so much by both of our kids. Jackson actually asked for one for his birthday, I think. But if you've never seen the Yoto player, again, I'm sure you have, but they're cards instead of the little figurines, right? So they're little cards you place in the slot. I think this may not even have battery because Ray was probably listening to it last night. Usually lights up. Then it's the same thing. It's an audio player. It's a way for them to listen to books. This is Winnie the Pooh. Riley has listened to Winnie the Pooh I don't know how many times. Just because, oh no, now it is lighting up. Just because she has this, she keeps it in her bed. She brings it to breakfast. And it just plays the entire story. So there's this Yoto player, which is like the big full-sized Yoto player. We also have the mini one, but I don't know where it is. I looked for it in Jackson's bed, but I cannot find it. But these get used so often, whether it's in the mini Yoto player or the big Yoto player. This is a big Yoto player, but it also has the sleeve, you guys. So just FYI, if you buy the big one, you can also order like this green thing is not part of the Yoto player. It's like a case, or not a case, but like a protective cover, I guess. It's one of my favorite things in the house, whether it's the Toniebox or the Yoto player. It's a way for them to consume content screen-free and like good stuff, like a lot of good quality classic books that I don't have time to read to them on my own. If you don't have one of those, I think it's one of those things that's worth investing in, whether you have one kid or you have many, and then you go buying the cards. So we have a whole bunch, and then recently I had even bought like a little case. They have cases that you can buy so that you can just keep all of the different cards. The thing is that my kids literally, they just throw them all over their beds and I can't find any of them. They have a decent collection of a bunch of different stories, and they even have classical music ones. They have Disney stuff, like this was my first bedtime storybook. So lots of things to choose from. I do want to go and find more Christian-based cards, and I think with Yoto Player, there's ways that you can make your own cards. You can download audio files, and then you can also, what's it called? You can make your own card with specific audio like files and stuff. So in my opinion, it's easier to put Christian content like from the Bible and stuff on the Yoto player than with the Toniebox. I could be mistaken, but I have loved both. I just find that my big kids skew more towards the Yoto player at this point, but Sean still likes the little figurines. They both do the same thing, you guys. So don't stress too much over which one. Just find one if you're interested in like that audio player kind of scenario, and then just see how they like it. But yeah, that is honestly, I think, the bulk of what we have out in our house that the kids play with. I did a video recently sharing like our favorite baby toys. So if you're looking for baby toys, I'll link that video too, because I was like decluttering old baby toys and showing you what like we were left with and like what I actually am keeping for Harper especially. But I hope that gives you some ideas of stuff that's still around here in our home, the kids most played with toys. And yeah, if you have any questions about any of it, feel free to leave it down below. And if you are new here, if you just found this video, stick around, because like I make tons of videos. Just hang and do things like film videos when, you know, my kids are losing it, and just what my life looks like these days. And this is it, you guys. So anyway, I love your faces. Thank you for being here, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye, guys.